Hi guys, I'm Andreas from Danmoto and I would like to show you today our stepless adjustable exhaust. It's like this. You see, most of you will know already our Carbon GP. It's a nice little race exhaust, looks good, very lightweight and makes a really good sound. But sometimes the good sound is a bit too much. Like maybe you commute to work in the morning early and your neighbors complain. Or you want to go for a long ride with your girlfriend or wife in the back on the passenger seat and she's complaining about it. Could be a little bit more quiet. In these cases, what do you normally do? You buy a Baffle. Baffle goes into the exhaust, reduces the sound. It works, but it's troublesome because let's say in the morning you go to work, so you want to have it a little bit more quiet. But then in the afternoon you go to visit some friends, you want to go for a ride, somewhere in the countryside, so you would like to enjoy the sound of your bike. You can't just start and wait, take every single part, take the Baffle out, go for a ride, later come back in the evening, and you don't want to disturb the neighbors, so you put the Baffle back in and drive home. So you put it in the morning, take it out at the afternoon, put it back in the evening. What's the fun of this? You know, the whole day just putting it around, put a Baffle in, Baffle out, Baffle in, Baffle out. It needs tools, it's troublesome. Let's be honest, most people don't do it. They either drive with the Baffle or without. So, for this, we developed something new. This is also a Carbon GP exhaust, but this exhaust has now a remote sound control system. So you will ask yourself, what is this? Actually pretty simple. This exhaust has inside a mechanical baffle system which is adjustable remotely. I show you this around here. You can see here in the outlet there is a baffle plate. This baffle plate is adjustable in position and angle. The whole thing is controlled over a cable which goes to a hand control unit. We mounted this here on a little frame that I can show it to you. Later I will show it to you on the bike to get a better idea. That's a nice little piece made out of billet aluminum. Here's the adjuster wheel, and you turn the adjuster wheel and turning it in and out adjusts the position of the baffle, which in result adjusts the sound. I'll show you now how this adjustable baffle works. You can see now here the baffle inside is fully closed, and I will use now the hand control to open the baffle. To do this, I'll just turn the adjuster. Inside the exhaust you can see now how the baffle slowly opens. This gives you the option to stepless adjust the noise your exhaust system makes. You can adjust it from anywhere between fully closed to a full open race system. And we're fully open now, so you can see the adjuster is completely flat for full maximum flow. And now I'm closing the whole system again. And now we're just about back to a fully baffled system. Whole thing connects via cable to the exhaust. You see here a little mechanical wheel setup which controls the opening and closing of the baffle. This system can be installed on both sides of the exhaust. So, you know, sometimes some bikes have the exhaust on the left side, some on the right, or some even have two exhausts each on one side. You can pick if you want to have the mechanical system on the left or on the right side. Both is possible. Also, the hand control right now has only one exhaust, but you can control up to two exhausts with one hand control unit. So for you the guys with, like, if you have an R1 or a Ducati Monster, you have two mufflers. You can still use the system, you only have one hand control, and this hand control is adjusting both mufflers simultaneously. To give you a better idea about how this actually works, we installed one of these exhausts on one of our sample bikes, and we'll go over to this now to show you how this actually works. Okay. Now we're back, and I would like to show you the exhaust on the bike. You see, that's one of our sample bikes. It's a vintage Suzuki which we use for racing here, and we installed one of these exhaust systems on the bike to give you an idea about how this works. As you can see, here is the Carbon GP exhaust. It's just the one I just showed you before, which has the remote sound control system. As you can see, here is the mechanical control. I put it now on the outside that you can actually see it. We could also mount it here on the back, then it's out of view and it gives the bike a very clean look because you actually can't see it if it's mounted here on the inside. You can see that's the control cable which goes then to the hand control unit. Again, we put it here on the outside now as an example to show you how this works. Basically, if you install it on your bike, you should route it somewhere on the inside through the engine compartment to the bars. Then it just disappears, it's not visible. If you put it like this, of course, you can see it. It's not that beautiful, but it gives you a good idea about how this works. Two things which I need to tell you about the cable. You see, when you get the exhaust connection pipe fittings, that's all bike specific. The control unit is a universal fit part. Why? A lot of you guys have custom handlebars, like a little bit higher, lower, wider, narrow, whatever, so I can't give you a fitting kit which will fit every bar. I give you a universal fit kit which you can then install by yourself on pretty much every application. Works like this. When you get it, you first install the exhaust. Then you have a look if you want to have the control on the right or on the left side of the exhaust. Put it on. And then you route the cable to your desired mounting position. When you route the cable, make sure it always goes in nice, big circles. Don't kink it. If you kink the cable, the whole system might get stuck. Make sure it's routed very nicely with big radius. At best somewhere around here, around the engine, together with the clutch or throttle table, so it's not obvious, just blends in with the rest of the bike. Another thing, make sure the cable is not touching any exhaust pipes. If it would touch, the exhaust gets hot, it just might damage the cable. Make sure you always have a bit of distance in between the cable and the exhaust. Okay, so now I show you how this works with the hand control. Like I said before, we route the cable up around the engine, big, nice radius. Then we have it out somewhere at the headstock. Depends on the bike, every bike is a bit different. Just have a look how your clutch and throttle cable are routed. Do it the same way, it's good and will work, that's nice. Okay, on our bike now, we have the hand control here on the handlebar, so it's easy to reach during your driving, you can adjust it with one hand. But there's just one possibility. You can mount the hand control anywhere at the triple trees, below the clutch. You could mount it next to the dash, right, left, or maybe at the bottom. This bike has a fairing, so we could mount it somewhere here inside the fairing, right or left side. If you have a full fairing, you could mount the controller somewhere on the sides of the fairing, right or left side. If you have a naked bike, you might just screw it here somewhere near the headstock, triple trees, or even down low at the engine somewhere. You just need to pick a place which is for you easy to reach during your riding. You want to take your left hand and be able to adjust it during your riding. So when you get the exhaust set, install it first and then consider once what's a comfortable, good spot for you, where you have enough space to mount the hand control and make sure it doesn't interfere with any other parts. Take a minute, decide a place and mount it safely. Make sure, especially, depending where you mount it, that it doesn't interfere with your clutch cable, brake, or with the movement of your steering. It's all need to be separated. Make sure it doesn't hit anything, otherwise it might get dangerous for you. Now we go outside and we make a sound check. We'll show you how this sounds on this bike here. What we do is we'll adjust a little bit higher idle around 3,000, 3,500 RPM. and then we start with a fully closed baffle. I will use the hand control to open the baffle and close it again several times, and you can then hear of how much difference it makes. We're also measuring the dB level at the same time, and the figures will be shown to you so you can see the difference in dB. For this application, at like I said, higher idle 3.5, about it makes about 4 dB difference between open and close. Doesn't sound very much, but 4 dB actually is a lot. Don't forget, the dB scale is logarithmic, so 10 steps make double the volume. If you have 100 dB, it's as double as loud as 90 dB. One more thing about the sound. You see, this now is a vintage Suzuki. Exhaust sounds in a certain way on this bike, also mainly due to the open carbs with velocity stacks. Has a very special sound to it. On your bike it will most probably sound different. Our exhaust here sounds in open baffle mode the same as our standard carbon GP. If you want to get an idea how this exhaust will sound on your bike, you go to YouTube and you look for Danmoto carbon GP. There are hundreds of videos of our carbon GP on many different bikes, and this exhaust here sounds just the same as the standard carbon GP. It has the same tone, same rumble, same noise. The only difference is that here you can adjust the noise level. It's the same as if you would take our normal carbon GP and you add the baffle or you remove it. This is practically sound-wise the same. The only difference is that here you can really adjust it on the fly during your riding. Okay, we are out now for the sound check.